Today, we will tackle about the declaration of martial law and the end of military rule. So, here is our objectives. Now, the declaration of martial law by President. So, the declaration of martial law is declared by the President Ferdinand Marcos. So, declaration of martial law, it was declared on September 21, 1972. So, these are the mostly controversial and transformative periods in the Philippine history. So, the reason of these are the political unrest, economic downturn, and threats of rebellion. So, martial law aimed to restore order but resulted in widespread human rights violations and the authoritarian rule. So this lesson discloses the circumstances leading to the declaration and the experience of Filipinos during this time, and they provide pivotal events that lead to the eventual restoration of democracy on 1986. Now let's proceed to the knowing first who is Ferdinand Marcos. So, Ferdinand Marcos was born with his full name, Ferdinand Emmanuel Edralin Marcos. So, he was born on September 11, 1917. So, at that he was born on Sarat, Ilocos Norte, and he graduated as cum laude from University of the Philippines or UP in a College of Law. So, a quick background of his family's background. So, his father is Mariano Marcos, which is a lawyer and a congressman. So, Miranda had a father for politics, which is being a congressman. So, and her mother is Josefa Edralin, which is a teacher. So, but his father died because his father is executed by the guerrillas in 1945 for a late collaboration with the Japanese. Since this time, under Third Republic, there was a Japanese Japanese invaders in the Philippines. So now, let's proceed. So, he top-notched the 1939 bar examination for lawyers. So, lawyer Yagi Buhat with a rating of 92.35. So, that's his rate when he take his board exam as a lawyer. So, now let's proceed to his lawful wife. Yung lawful wife, si Imelda Romualdez Marcos. So, si Imelda Romualdez, they've been married on May 1, 1945. So, let's know about Imelda Marcos. So, Imelda Marcos was graduated on St. Paul's College in Tacloban and finished a degree of education. So she also nicknamed as the Steel Butterfly for being known globally for her beauty, elegance, and vast wardrobe. So muna siya na siya known for having 3,000 set of shoes. So muna siya kadalaman niyang set of shoes. Then, also, nag-meet sila ni Ferdinand Marcos, and it was just 11-day romance. That means, 1 week na sila nagkaila, then nagpakasal na ipakasal na dahil ni Marcos si Imelda Romualdez. So, muna siyang gitawag nila ang relationship as 11-day romance. Ganito po si Marcos na it's love at first sight. So, muto siya. Then, also, let's continue about Marcos. So, he was a member of the Philippine House of Representatives representatives for 1949 to 1959. Then a member of the Philippine Senate from 1959 to 1965 and became a Senate President from 1963 to 1965. So, Marcos won the presidency and was inaugurated on December 30 and 1965 and stayed until February 25 1986. Timeline on his presidency. So his first term was on December 32, 1965. So when siya inaugurated means having a ceremony or oath taking for his for being nawon siya in a presidential election. Then na-end siya according to 1935 Constitution. Nagpalo pa sila sa 1925 Constitution. That means, sa una, 4 years term, 4 years term sa presidential. So, na-end iya sa December 30, 1969. But, according also to that 1935 Constitution, you can run 2 consecutive terms. So that's why in the second term niya, nidalaga siya in December 1969 to December 30, 1973. So another 4 years na po siya. So 4 plus 4, 8 years. So, nidaog po niya siya because of her because her lawful wife or young wife, si Imelda Marcos, is very known si Imelda Marcos sa una pa. Then, we will talk about the martial law declaration and the post-martial law declaration. So, Marcos died on the 28th of September 1989 in Hawaii, USA. Let's talk about the pre-declaration of martial law or before wala pa na ni-declare on martial law. So, the pre-declaration of martial law, so before in his first term, he has a good governance, which he builds bridges, schools, and infrastructure. So one of the biggest gift of her wife, which is the San Juanico Bridge, which is longest bridge in the Philippines. Longest bridge na siya. Then, pagkawala na ka-term, ng one of the first term, pagka second term, nagsugod ang mga different crises. Nag-emerge na ang mga corruption, so corruption contribute also, in that one, second term na niya, yan nagsugod ang mga global economic crisis. Brought by the rising oil price, the Philippine economy was adversely affected. And in 1970s, also dirt politics, so diyan nagsugod na ang mga dirt politics and the graft corruption. So, actually, si Marcos has also good na siya good na nanahimo. But also, pagkalungan sa iyang term, he made mga wrongdoings like corruptions na. Then reflecting an upsurge of communism and subversion was evident. So due to the deplorable condition of the country, the occurrence of violence, Protestants, and terrorism were rampant among them were the following. So this one, I will show next slide. So these people, muna sila ni anti or ni protest because of the grabe na ang corruption or grabe na ang pagmaliit or pagmali Marcos sa mga tao. So there are dagang Protestants. So these Protestants are mga students. So here are the Protestants or the communism. So the first communism, so muna siya yung mga ni protest to Marcos. Ni protesta ni sila kaundangan si Marcos. So the first are the student military side. So that includes the groups of Kabataang Makabayan. So napala sila ron. Then the National Union of Students of the Philippines. ST, and that associates student activism. So now, let's proceed to, also there are muna din sila yung mga communists which wanted to have, nanakot sila ng mayong pagdumala sa president. So, muna sila ang mga Moro National Liberation Front or MNLF or the New People's Army. So, sa una, nagsugod na po ang mga New People's Army. So, the NPA, engages guerrillas warfare against the Marcos administration. Now, the other is the Communist Party of the Philippines, which are the CPP, imposed the so-called Plaza Miranda massacre that killed 8 lives, injured 120 people. So, halina pangitabo ang Plaza Miranda massacre. So, I will show a short video.
Miranda Nakibayan talaga. Dito, ang Diyos ng tao ay pagkakuman. Dito'y nakakami sa dalawang traffic. Ang isa ay para sa Diyos, kung biyernes. Ang pangalawa ay para sa taong merong nagaganap ng ating. Ikadalawa ko isa ng Agosto 1971. Sabado, isang karaniwan. Kaya lang may pagdaraos ng rally ng mga liberal.
So that's the short clip on the Plaza Miranda bombing. So 8 kills, 8 lives, and injured 120 people. So nasa din na last part sa video. Affected during the Plaza Miranda bombing. So now, let's proceed to the declaration of martial law. So, one of the reason ato po nung nag-declare ng martial law ay because daga naman itong mga communist na anti-terrorist nga ni kontra ni Marcos because of his administration. So, muna nga si Marcos ni-declared of martial law. So, muna siya ang reason. So, on September 22, 1972, at 7:30 p.m., President Marcos appeared on nationwide radio and television to formally announce that he had placed entire Philippines under martial law as of 9 p.m. the previous day. So, dili pa man uso ang cellphone sa una. So, maulahi ang radio o mga broadcast. So, ni-declare si President Marcos on the September 21, but na-air siya, nabanan sa mga tao on the September 23 siya. So, then the implementation of martial law in the country was pursuant to Proclamation number 1081, which he had signed on September 21. So, prior to that date, on September 23. This law was declared by the President to save the Republic from the lawless and civil strife. So, during also the martial law, the Constitution was suspended. So, all of the other mga branches sa government has been suspended. Then, the Congress was dissolved and President Marcos governed by issuing President decrees, letters of instruction, and other rules being favorable to the society. In short, authoritarian rule, which is si Marcos nga ang masunod. Murang authoritarian rule na lamang siya. So, under martial law, President Marcos was being the chief executive and had emergency powers. So, that's why si Marcos ang masunod. Whatever the siya'y ruler or siya'y masunod on what will happen sa mga what will be yung mga i-declared ba. Then, the President suspend the writ of habeas corpus, which is curtailed to freedom of speech. So, kung masarap ka storya or mo against ka ni Marcos, you will be condemned on the ng jail, makulong ka. And freedom of speech and press, and assembly. So also, political opponents and detractors were arrested and detained. So here are some of the na-detained or ni-against sa iyang declaration. So which is the Senator Ninoy Aquino, di si Jokno and Ramon Metra. So, si Mayor Cristo Gigona, si si Marie Velez, isa television commentators na sila. And journalist Maximo Soliven. So now, there's an example of the Jarod sa kapamatay ni Marcos. So, his law, the proclamation number 1081.
Let's proceed to the end of military rule in the martial law. So in February 25, 1986, this is the official and symbolic end of military rule and authoritarianism under President Ferdinand Marcos. So events leading to the end of military rule, first is the assassination of Benigno Ninoy Aquino, August 91, 1983. So Benigno Aquino Jr. is a former senator and first critic of Ferdinand Marcos, had been to reside in the United States for 3 years due to the threats of his life. So despite the risk, he decided to return to the Philippines to help restore democracy. So tragically, the moment he set off the plane, he was shot and killed on the airport tarmac in a good view of local and international media. So si Ninoy Aquino is dito siya, gishot siya dito sa airport sa tarmac. At kani nga airport is gitawag ni siya sa una og Manila International Airport o karon gitawag siya og Ninoy Aquino International Airport. So his assassination shocked the nation and outraged millions of Filipinos. So people from all walks of life, students, workers, church leaders, business people begin to organize mass protests. So the second one is the rising mass movement of opposition. So after Ninoy's death movement began to rise across the country. So the Catholic Church, led by Cardinal John Sin and the Catholic Bishop Conference of the Philippines for safety, took a bold stand against the Marcos regime. So for the first time, church leaders openly criticized human rights abuses, corruptions, and electoral fraud under martial law. So, new organization formed to promote democracy, human rights, and justice. Motto Bayan, Gabriela, Namfril, and others. So this group organized rallies, boycotts, and strikes and public education campaigns. So the United States, once loyal supporters of Marcos began to distance itself. So report of rampant corruption, torture, and economic mismanagement led U.S. officials to reduce aid and pressure Marcos to reform. So the 1986 snap election and a U.S. TV interview in November 1985, President Marcos suddenly announced a snap presidential election for early in 1986. So his goal was to prove he still had to people trust, but in reality, he faced growing international and external pressure. So the public saw it is an opportunity to remove Marcos legally and peacefully. So ang mga candidates si Ferdinand Marcos and si Corazon Aquino. So si Ferdinand Marcos is incumbent president running under the PBL party. While si Corazon Aquino is widow of Ninoy Aquino, symbols of hope and democracy, running under the UNIDO. So si Corazon Aquino is ni siya ang wife ni Ninoy Aquino. So the election, ni siya ang dates na elections. On February 7, 1986, millions voted in the snap election. So the massive cheating and fraud was reported. So kato ning dili na nahitabo tong vote buying. And while the government declared Marcos the winner, independent count showed Cory Aquino was that to victor. So, tungod sa vote buying, si Marcos jud ang nakadaog. So, the fraudulent election ignited public anger leading to mass mobilization and preparing the stage for revolution. So next is the military defection and the exact people power revolution. So on dates on February 22 to 25, millions of Filipinos from all walks of life gathered along Epifanio de Los Santos Avenue, or bitawag siya o EDSA between the two camps. So, they occupied Camp Aguinaldo and Camp Crane, calling the Marcos resignation. So they were as isolated and vulnerable, so they can ask the people to protect them. So, si Cardinal senior citizen to go to EDSA through Radio Veritas. So millions of Filipinos responded, ordinary citizens, price, nuns, students, professionals of human barricades. They brought flowers, food, and prayers, showing the world the power of the non-violent resistance. So muna niato sila dito sa lugar kung asa di patay si Ninoy Aquino dito sa airport sa Tarmac. So on February 25, 1986, both Cory Aquino and Marcos held separate inauguration. So later, the evening, Marcos sailed to Hawaii with his family, escorted by U.S. aircraft. So Cory Aquino became the rightful president, ending 20 years of dictatorship and military rule. So here is the footage of the end of military rule.
Suffer. If we gonna set aside our
Marcos was voted out of power in 1986 by the people's.
So, in conclusion, the end of military rule in the Philippines was not achieved by war. So, katong end of military, wala na siya nahuman sa kanang di-war gani, nahuman siya sa courage, faith, unity, and will of the people. So, from Ninoy's assassination to the EDSA revolution, Filipinos showed the world how peaceful protest and democracy can overcome dictatorship. So, that is all.